Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Bandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, we welcome all the viewers, every one of you that are joining with us for this very special, I should say very interesting live stream. From time immemorial, human race invariably has a deep longing quest for immortality. From the time a human being is born, he seeks for immortality. He seeks to keep everything of his something to make him experience immortality. Whether it is trying to create wealth, pass it down to generations so that you can live, trying to do something big so that forever you can be remembered, some way. But immortality is something that is deeply cherished and deeply sought after every human being. Now, what if I told you there's a way that Hindus, our ancestors, had mastered this science of immortality?
Egyptians tried exploring into this science and they tried that in the form of mummification. But our ancestors, Sanatana Hindu Dharma, had taken it to the most advanced level. With the greater science of Hinduism, they had discovered a very, very, very powerful method, the science of immortality and going beyond that through deitification.
Ever since the dawn of time, man has sought eternal existence, immortality. Be the search for the elixir of life, or the quest for the Holy Grail, to modern-day scientists modifying genes, man has desired to conquer the ultimate leveler of them all, death. Immortality, seeking eternal life. In today's world, the answer is to have a wax statue in Madame Tussauds, or a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, or to establish a charitable foundation such as the Rockefeller Foundation or the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. For most, this quest for immortality is expressed via biology, the instinct to pass on our genes through our children long after our body dies. Various ancient cultures have searched for immortality in different ways. One of the most well-known quests was deep in the massive pyramids of Egypt by the kings and the queens of ancient Egypt, the pharaohs. The civilization explored the science of preserving their bodies through mummification and created large pyramids as mausoleums to their greatness. Mummification involved embalming the bodies and packing them with sawdust and rags, sealing the open cuts with wax, and then wrapping them with linen bandages. The ancient Egyptians' art of mummification was not with the mere aim to preserve their bodies, but an attempt to achieve immortality itself. Mummification was, however, a primitive level understanding of this science of immortalization. The modern scientific quest for eternal existence is unraveling as being able to live in a computer simulation and link your mind to millions of others, achieving unlimited intelligence. an international collaboration led by researchers at UC Berkeley and the US Institute of Molecular Manufacturing, has published an analysis predicting that nanotechnology breakthroughs are inevitably leading us to develop a human brain-cloud interface. It is Sanatana Hindu Dharma which gave the most precise way of immortalization in the profound science of Deitification, the science of Divya Sharira.
Amritasya Putra, you are sons of immortality. You are, by your very nature, immortal. There is no need to achieve it. There is no need to achieve.
The immortals, Chiranjeevis, mentioned in Sanatana Hinduism are Prahlada, Markandeya, Hanuman, Ashwatthama. Immortalization by deifying is the most evolved science of immortality. When we seek immortality, we seek to live forever in our highest experiences. Our highest existence is not the body, not the mind, not our riches, our name and fame, not even just our genes and our children. We are beings, and our highest experience is one of merging with and being established in the deep connection to consciousness, to Paramashivam. Deifying creates an eternal identity, Divya Sharira, which dwells in this highest, most ecstatic state of existence, which we glimpse in embodied states as Bhava Samadhi.
Understand, all the tapas, all the purification methods in Hindu tradition is to raise you to the higher vertical time zones. That's all. There are 11 sampradayas in Hindu tradition. 11 pradayas. Krama Brahmachari Brahmacharini, Naishtika Brahmachari Brahmacharini, Swami Swamini, Sannyasi Sannyasini. Understand, Swami and Sannyasi are different. Sannyas is initiation given. Swami is somebody who has mastered the sannyas and become a complete in their sannyashood. Means they become completely flowered in their sannyas and become a Swami, Tambiran, who has become God for them, their own self, who has mastered the initiation of sannyas successfully is Swami. Sannyasi Sannyasinis, Swami Swaminis, Sadhvi Sadhvinis, Sadhu Sadhvis, Sadhu and Sadhvis, and Vanaprastha and Vanaprasthis, Rishi and Rishikas, and Rudra and Rudraganyas, Bhairava and Bhairavi, Yogi and Yoginis. Like this, there are 11 sampradayas in Hindu tradition. Siddha, they are called Adhyashramis. Avaduta, Siddha, Adhyashramis. All of them are one sampradaya, means who don't belong to any of the sampradayas, who are absolutely free, like a Paramahamsas. Paramahamsis, they are one sampradaya. So listen, all these 11 sampradayas, and their practices are for this one purpose: raising yourself to the higher and higher vertical time zones, from Bhumandala, Bhuva, Suva, Tapa, Satya and Kailasa. Understand? All the action, thought current you do, which pushes you into the lower time zones, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Patala. That is called karma, papa. All the actions and thought currents you enjoy which raises you in the vertical time zone, Bhuva, Suva, Tapa, Satya, Vaikunta, Kailasa, all this is called punya, good karmas. Each powerful cognition raises your existence into vertical time zone. Intense cold and light and all the gods, goddesses, Ganesha, Nandi, all the gods. I was seeing one by one and saw the Brahma and Vishnu, ultimately Parashakti sitting in the lap of Paramashiva with his Vishwarupa, 50 hands and 25 heads. It's undescribable beauty and glory. Only when I deeply looked into the face of Paramashiva, I saw it's Arunagirishra. The face is one and the same. Listen. Then slowly I started sensing this Bhuloka, means this dimension, this time zone. Then I slowly settled down. I started understanding that I'm enjoying his beautiful form, the chest and that Rudrakshamala. I was in that extreme ecstasy. That knowing my Guru is Paramashiva and Paramashiva himself is my Guru. And slowly I'm settling down from that vertical time zone to this time zone. Very smooth landing. And he just hugged me to give a smooth landing without any shock. I could see that the first time I realized the static matter and vibrant energy and strategic existence has no border. There is no boundary. Because I saw there is no boundary between me, him and Kailasa. Who is Paramashiva? He is my Guru and he is me. There is no border. It's just one and the same. That powerful cognition just clicked such strength, and it became reality. Understand, whenever these powerful cognitions click in your system, you experience Kailash time zone. Whenever the Kailash time zone is sealed into you, those powerful cognitions become your reality. It is like vice versa, both. That can be brought and inserted into you, and you can be taken and given the experience there. Guru can give you the glimpse or permanent space in Kailasa. It is just geometrical. Means your pi can be just shrunk or expanded. If it is shrunk, it goes to Patala, lower time zones. If it can be expanded, if it is expanded, it goes to higher time zone. Whenever I initiate you, I expand your pi. So you just enter into higher time zones, vertical time zones, and you go and experience Bhur, Bhuva, Suva, Tapa, Satya, Vaikunta, ultimately Kailasa. This is the same science used in Deitification also. Your core conscious pi is taken and expanded and put in Kailasa, and that experience is sealed once for all in the form of this deity, and you stay forever in Kailasa. This whole your channel to Kailasa is locked in the temple. The temple exists forever and you exist forever in the Kailasa. It's a science. Just like mummification in Egypt. That is a smaller level. See, anybody mummified can reach only up to Swargaloka. It is the science which can take you up to Swargaloka. Only Deitification can take you to Kailasa. Because Hindus have mastered this science in a much grander and ultimate way. Deitification is 1,000 times greater, powerful methodology than mummification. Mummification can lead you up to Swargaloka. Bhur, Bhuva, Suva. Not more than that. You can be at the most Indra. But Deitification takes you directly to Kailasa. It can take you up to Kailasa. These sciences will be revealed more and more detailed from Kailasa. Showering all my blessings to all of you, to all the Sarvanyapita Yajamans and Kartas. So this is the way you are going to be deitified in temples. All the SJP Yajamans and Kartas will be deitified in Bididi.
What humanity has been running behind is a science of immortality. From time immemorial, every human being is in his quest for immortality. Every one of us. And here is this beautiful science of datification that is revived by Swamiji, that is available to all of us as a gift, for every one of us to experience, for every one of us to access, because this is a beautiful treasure for every one of us that are looking to access this. Now, for all the participants, every one of you, all the viewers that have joined live with us on YouTube, and all the participants that are watching us, Swamiji is reviving this very sacred science for all of us. The science of deitification, immortalizing us. And like Swamiji said, it is not just in the physical body, but for eternity, for generations to come, they will remember you. You will be standing as a pillar in the temple of Paramashiva. You will have the Kailasa Padavi, the Sanidhya of Paramashiva.
So now let's take a few minutes to understand more about the science. I know all of us watched that video that was an elaborate explanation. Swamiji so beautifully revealed how all of us have the possibility to experience that space of deification and to experience immortality, and how this is such an advanced science that it is not just limited for us to go just to Swargaloka. Today in Paramashivoham, we were learning about the existence of all the 14 lokas and how we can achieve it, like what dimensions we can reach up to, and what are the different states of consciousness, all of these, right? Now, the science of datification is where you will be able to experience the highest states. Like it's literally like you are saying that right after I leave my body, I'm still going to be datified and be immortal forever. And not just be here, I'm going to be like, it's like a guarantee for you to reach the higher planes of existence.
Now, for every one of us, the modern science has always been baffled with how advanced the ancient Vedic science has been. Be it the process of deification, be it the very concept of immortalization. This shows how sophisticated, advanced, and highly evolved as a civilization we were. The Vedic Hindu civilization, not just in terms of tradition, arts, and its architecture, but even in the principles that we believed in, even in the values that we believed in, we excelled. Installing, whether it is building temples, installing the Hindu gods, deities, vigrahas for worship, and whether it is building the beautiful temples, reviving the ecosystems, along with it, we also mastered the art of the inner world, building the right inner space, building the beautiful lifestyle through which one advances always to his or her highest possibility and the highest potential.
So now, how many of us look for the best place to stay in? We all look for what is the best. Everything should be the best. We want to stay in the best place. We want to drive the best cars. We want to have very happy relationships around us, and with everything being at its best. We work so much for having all of these things best. But there's one thing that's guaranteed the moment we assume the body, which is for us to leave this body, which is it's a guaranteed thing. But how many of us even know that we can design the way how we are going to continue to exist even after we leave the body? Yes, that's the science where you can be immortal. You don't even need you when you leave the body, you're not leaving the body as how we think as death. Instead, you are going to empower yourself with the science of living forever and have that consciousness awakened inside you, and you will be able to exist in the higher planes of existence. There have been a lot of recent discoveries that are establishing how what Paramashiva revealed eons ago are true. Scientists are discovering it, be it the 11 dimensions. All of these have now been getting discovered. This science of deitification is a very, very, very powerful methodology that our ancestors have mastered. The science of making body to live in the zones of enlightened vertical time zones through the datification process.
And to understand this process further, we need to first get an answer to one of the basic questions. Why are these temples created and how are these temples created? It is not just, why do we say it is immortalization if you have a deity carved in a temple? After all, it could just be a granite structure. There's a very popular quote, a very powerful quote from Swamiji, which I remember and I love always. Swamiji says that because if Hinduism had just these temples as giant monuments, it would have just remained a museum. It would have just remained an exhibition, an art piece. But because temple was an alive ecosystem, it was a science, right from its ritual to the giant structures it was standing, everything had a science behind it. That is the only reason, sole reason, that each of these temples to this day are surviving, thriving. The community around them are still surviving and thriving and progressing in their lives. Because each temples were built by an incarnation who brings down that enormous cosmic energy which is stored inside these temples and radiated to that planet for mankind to experience enlightenment. And each temple is an energy circuit which is created by an enlightened master or an avatar, an incarnation, which retains that energy for thousands of years to come. Whether it is the process of building the temple tower or whether it is a process of Kumbhabhishekam, Brahmotsavams, all of these celebrations, all of these rituals, all of these processes are different ways in which the energy that is installed by an enlightened master, by an incarnation, is harnessed by the common people. Every visit to the temple, it is not just a belief when Hindus go and bow down in front of a deity. It's a science. These deities transmit the energy experience of enlightenment itself. Now, this science, this advanced energy field, this ecosystem, when you have a deity carved in that, it is not just your statue. It's not like, having your statue done at the Madame Tussauds, and it's not just limited to that, oh, your form is going to be remembered. No. Every moment that your sculpture, your deity stands there, every single person that comes and benefits from the prayer, every single being that benefits from worshipping Paramashiva in the temple, for the eternity that the temple will remain, you will continue to get that punya life after life. It's a legitimate science.
Actually, literally, you will be living in the loka of the same deity that you are, where your deity is going to be placed. Like, for example, if you're being deitified in the golden temple of Paramashiva, literally, you are going to be forever existing in Kailasa. So, this is like a guarantee that you are booking for yourself to exist in those higher planes of existence. The way with which the integrity and authenticity and the micromanagement with which Swamiji is doing this process is just fascinating. Like, starting from identifying the best stone for these deities to getting the right alchemic style measurements and installing it, doing the prana pratishtha, every level, every step by step, the entire process is done so meticulously, directly micromanaged by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself.
Now, did you know that every time you go to a temple, apart from seeing the deities or apart from just bowing down to the deities, worshipping or connecting to the deities, every bit of the temple has a science. all of us, if you're a born Hindu or if you're a practicing Hindu normally, traditionally we are taught to do the circumambulation around the temple, right? Every time you go to a temple, you need to do circumambulation. The concept of circumambulation is not just a belief, it's not just a tradition, blind tradition to show your faith or devotion. No, it is a science. Every bit of it is a well thought through science. Similarly, this sophisticated concept of immortalization, which every civilization tried to achieve, was mastered by the Hindu, our ancestors, the rishis and incarnations. We were adepts in the science of immortalizing. And there's an elaborate, detailed process that is given in the most precise way of how our being can be immortalized. One is a science of Kaya Kalpa, where you are alive, living, and your body becomes eternally young. Similarly, even after you leave the physical body, even after you attain the Jiva Samadhi, the concept of immortalizing you. Every temple that stands today sings the glory of this science of immortalizing. Next time you walk into a temple, look around. You will find so many beautiful sculptures in the pillars of these temples. I'll show you some of the pictures. Many times when you visit a temple, you would have probably not taken a note of it. Next time you go walk into a temple, just look around. You will see tall, human-like figures, different types, different shapes, different sizes carved in the temple pillars, all of them bowing down to Paramashiva. You will see that of a king, you will see a family, you will see a child, you will see a woman, you will see a few people carved in the pillars. Did you know each of these carvings are all of those who contributed to these temples, building these temples, who stand eternally in the Paramashiva Sanidhya?
The pictures that you are seeing right now, these are all this is a picture of all the people who had contributed to the temples. Understand, this is a tradition that has been there in Hinduism for a long time now. And Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is reviving the science. Now, what does this mean to you? What does this actually mean to you? Yesterday we saw the tireless hard work that Swamiji has been doing to revive the science of sacred arts, reviving the sacred Hindu arts, and whether being the largest collector of Hindu deities in the whole world and giving livelihood to so many indigenous Vishwakarma communities and giving them an opportunity to follow the exact traditional practices and just taking this whole science forward, reviving it, gifting it to humanity. Now, by you being a part of this, you taking a decision saying, yes, I want to be a part of it. You are literally deciding that you are going to, it's more like a cosmic insurance. I shouldn't use the word insurance because here insurance is mostly based on our death. But then it's a real life insurance because you are taking a cosmic insurance saying that you, as long as this deity is going to exist forever, I will be in that same loka. You are going to exist in and have the Salokya Mukti. Understand, this science is extremely powerful. The whole world is right now progressing towards having advancement in science, technology, and living the most luxurious life outside. But what about your life once you leave the body? This is a cosmic life insurance that you are having for yourself.
Actually, all the Sarvajñapita Yajamans and Sarvajñapita Kartas that are watching this, I should say this is something that you can flaunt with pride saying that you are going to be a deity standing in the pillars of Kailasa's golden temple for Paramashiva. Swamiji has given this as a boon for every Sarvajñapita Karta, every Sarvajñapita Yajaman, the founding fathers and founding mothers of Kailasa, that everyone who becomes part of this sacred divine mission will be immortalized in the form of deity in the temple of Kailasa, in Kailasa's temple. This is a boon and blessing to every single one, each and every one of us that are that have taken the decision and that have been blessed with being able to contribute towards Sarvajñapita Yajaman and towards Sarvajñapita, the vision of revival of Kailasa. You have the boon of being immortalized, eternally standing as a deity in Paramashiva's golden temple. Here we can see some of these deities of our Kartas and Sarvajñapita Yajamans, which are carved and getting ready, taking shape to stand as a pillar in our golden temple in Kailasa. You can see here, these are some of the pictures. Actually, end to end, this process where our sannyasis are going and identifying the best stones from the stone quarries and identifying which are the right type of stones for the carving. And also these stapatis come and see the drawings and they make the carving exactly as per the photograph of each of the Sarvajñapita Yajamans and Sarvajñapita Kartas.
See, all the participants, the Paramashivoham participants that are sitting here with us, Ma, Hildi, Madaratasha, Salishan, and so many of you that are here with us. Just wanted to tell each of you, this science of deitification that you're seeing, see, from morning, all of us have been learning so many powerful revelations, powerful cognitions, understanding about the 25 states of consciousness, understanding about 11 dimensions of the universe. And Swamiji also explained how now the modern science is discovering all of these. Like how Swamiji tells every single time. Swamiji is too soon for his time. He's here too early for his time. Revealing to us some of the most mind-boggling things. See, just 20 years before, if anyone would have told us that you just need to have a slab of glass, and just by a few finger taps, you will have access to the entire world. Nobody would have believed it. But today, each one of us are having a mobile phone, a smartphone. It is like Swamiji told this before almost a century, and then like how now humanity is discovering, it's almost like that. Swamiji is now revealing to us the greatest science of how you can be immortal, how you can exist forever, and that too with the Salokya Samadhi, where you are literally living in the same loka as your Ishtadevata.
And for the eternity that the temple will exist, for the eternity that people will come and worship and receive blessings from Paramashiva and Swamiji, as till that time, you will be earning the punya of enriching those many lives. This is a very, very wonderful blessing for each of us. And Swamiji's vision of reviving this process is to restore this legacy, this glorious legacy of deitification and immortalizing the science of immortalization for all of us. Every one of us, every one of you that are watching this, if you feel inspired, if you want to experience this, if you feel like, you know what, I should also stand there and I should also be a part of this wonderful opportunity so that I can get the punya of doing seva to Paramashiva. Now, it is time for you to take this as an opportunity. Sign up to become a Sarvajñapita Yajaman so that you can experience this extraordinary gift and you can too be a part of this. Now, what we saw as a science of deification is just one aspect of the revival that Swamiji is doing. Yesterday, we saw another wing of the sacred Kailasa's Nithyananda sacred arts, where the stone work, where these reviving these temple sciences, the arts, architecture, we saw a few sections of it. Now, we'd like to continue to share with you all about how Swamiji is reviving this Panchaloha and the metal deities. Like how we saw this sculptures being made in stone, in granite. Similarly, the right combination of the 5 types of metals, the Panchalohas, when being made in the right proportions, becomes a strong base from which deities are carved. And did you know when Swamiji started this? When he was just as young as 10 years old. Talk about being passionate or being hardworking. Who else can be a better example than Swamiji for this? Can you imagine? Just when Swamiji was 10 years old, he used to organize temple festivals. He used to go around and he used to listen to so many satsangs and so many processes manifesting powers. And look at this, each aspect, whether it is sheet work, whether it is metal deities, carving deities on soapstone, or whether it is being able to feed the deities and manifest powers, everything Swamiji has started from his very tender age of just 3 or 4. Here we can see another example of this. In approximately 1987, Swamiji made his first metal casted deity using the aluminium vessels in his house. This deity, this very beautiful deity of Devi Lakshmi that you're all seeing here. Here we can see Swamiji actually melted aluminium vessels from his house and carved this beautiful deity of Devi Lakshmi. This is the first metal casted deity which has grown today into a mini industry, I should say, where by casting metal, the deities are being made. And today, this has grown into a mini industry which has produced deities up to several tons. We can see here.
And you all can see all these deities. These are the collections of the deities. It stands today as one of the largest collections in the world. Started off with these small deities, which Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism collected and worshipped during his childhood days. You all can see these are all the deities which are done using the same metal casting work.
And today, this is what has grown into a beautiful department in Kailasa, where these Panchaloha deities, these murtis and sculptures are made exactly as per agamas. Here you can see whether it is the vahanas, deities, and different postures as per the agamas, as it depicts, are being carved here. You all can see the various different metal sculptures. And these are the few of the numerous collections by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now, each of these metal deities, there's an elaborate process of how it should be made. The brass that you all see here is the brass which is used as turbine in ships. And there are only 5 ship dismantling yards in this world, one being in Gujarat. And do you know why we use this? Because the turbine made of brass has the best composition of copper and zinc and other metals.
And this has a speciality that it has gone through the seasoning of the salt water in the sea, the saline water in the sea, which makes it resistant to any form of corrosion.
So this will make sure that the deity lasts for a very long time. And this is a very special process, a specific process that is done. So this composition is the best for the strength, life, and consecration of the deity. So this deity has an elaborate, detailed process outlined in the agamas as to how it is supposed to be made. The casting of these metal deities that we saw just now, a glimpse of which we saw just now, are made in Panchaloha. And Panchaloha is a combination of 5 metals, like I shared before: copper, brass, zinc, tin, and gold. So these 5 metals put together in the right combination, along with an elaborate and authentic process of a single mold for every metal casting, which has a detailed process. Like, for example, it starts with wax modeling. So first they make a wax sculpture of the deities, and then they cover the wax model with the mud from the banks of the sacred Kaveri River in southern India. And it is a very specific process, because only this Kaveri River sand can hold that high amount of heat. So this Kaveri's river sand is used, and then the wax is then melted using the extremely high temperatures. And after that, they pour the molten metal into the mud mold that is done, and they cast the deities using this.
And from here, once the metal is poured into the mold, the extracting the metal deity from the mold happens. And once the metal deity is extracted from the mold, with the carving and chiseling, all of that is done. It goes through the finishing touches, it goes through a very skilled sculpting. And in this stage is where the fine lines that we note and the details, the intricate details that we see in the deities, all these are carved. And these are carved using very, very, very traditional, authentic, rare tools, which are not available in the market today.
This is an authentic, elaborate process. And for each of us that are watching this, it is a boon that we are part of this. We have an opportunity to at least know or access this information, let alone being part of this revival. Even knowing this information would have otherwise been impossible for all of us. Here, Swamiji has taken that responsibility, and Swamiji is reviving and single-handedly establishing this entire elaborate science for all of us. Every one of you that are watching this, do not miss an opportunity to be part of this revival. You, not just you, your generations down the lane will celebrate this one decision of being part as a founding father and a founding mother for this sacred vision. So sign up to become part of this vision of Sarvagnya Pita. Do not miss this golden opportunity. And
with this, we thank all the viewers that have joined in through all the social media platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And we are going to be continuing with preparing ourselves for darshan for all the Paramashivoham participants. If you are someone who's not yet signed up for Paramashivoham, we urge you to go sign up in paramashivoham.org. It's right now it's happening, and we are going to be having a live special session with Swamiji. So do not be missing it out. Go ahead and sign up in paramashivoham.org so that you can avail this program. Thank you so much for all the